Hello everybody, welcome back to High Ground. My name is Tanner, and today a few North American roster changes to talk about. So a few players being dropped, and so presumably they'll be replaced eventually. We'll talk about some possible replacements, but nothing is confirmed in that way just yet. So first up, Space Station dropping Merc, and I think a little bit of a surprise. They did pick him up pretty recently, so Space Station back in stage 3 of last year, they had Yeti, just the one stage, and the major, I suppose. And then this year, same thing. They had Merc for just the one stage and the major, and now he's gone. Last year they did make, after stage number 3 in the major, they made several roster changes. Their coach, a few of their players. If this is the only one that they make, then I suppose it's a little bit different situation, but again, maybe slightly concerning that they keep turning over these players. The word on the street is that Merc intends to retire though, so maybe this wasn't even the team's decision so much as it was Merc's decision. And at the end, we'll get to another tweet and we'll sort of talk about who is seemingly his replacement, even if it hasn't been officially announced. Okay, so next up we have Beast Coast dropping VertcL. Had he had like a killer performance on Beast Coast, probably they would have kept him. But he was sort of a last-minute addition anyways. They wanted to have Tristan, and then that didn't work out. And who knows, maybe that is who they are bringing on to replace VertcL. But, again, a little bit last minute, and he didn't have a stellar performance by any means. So they're going in a different direction. Beast Coast, they definitely proved a lot of people wrong this stage, I'd say, and probably proved a lot of people right. And so we'll see if there are any further roster changes, but for now, yeah, VertcL dropping off of the roster. And finally, we have one more tweet. And R6 Leakers, I mean, this person has been guessing pretty much everything correctly, and I suppose not guessing, having insider information. He said that Merc was going to be dropped, said that Sweater is going to be dropped, and actually that hasn't been confirmed yet, so we'll see about that. I suppose that's the third thing we're talking about, Sweater being dropped by Oxygen. I don't think a ton of people are surprised, and I do think some people were still saying to maybe give him a little bit more time, but it's been a little while, and it's not like the team has had awful results. Most notably they did get third place at SI with Sweater on the roster, but he just never really lived up to the expectations. He just hasn't been stellar, and at first it was down to the rolls, and it seemed like they had it figured out, and he should have popped off from there, but really nothing really super impressive coming out from Sweater. Maybe he had some games, but just if you average everything out, just not looking great. I guess probably they're looking for some more firepower to pair up with Newers, because there are a lot of games when Newers is putting up the numbers, but nobody else is really backing him up. So Fish to replace Sweater is what we're hearing here. Fish had a pretty good rookie stage, I suppose, on Parabellum. Parabellum was, obviously the worst team in the league that stage, but Fish had a very impressive 15-5 entry record. I believe his KD was still negative, so not fantastic, but on the entry at the very least, 15-5 is very, very impressive. So we'll see what they can do there. I imagine Newers is still going to stay on first entry, Fish to second, but maybe we'll see a little bit of restructuring, who knows. And then SSG planned to sign Ashen to replace Merc. And if this is true, this is probably one of the most exciting ones. I don't know if Beast Coast thought they could get him. That's why they're dropping VertcL. I don't know if that was never on the table, whatever the case, because a lot of people were saying that they would like to see Ashen to Beast Coast, but Ashen to SSG sounds pretty exciting. I think people do have some concerns about him slotting into Merc's role because he's not really so much a first entry player. So, who's going to be playing first entry at that point? Are they going to put Fultz back on the entry, even if maybe he's not necessarily always the most aggressive entry, as Fultz passes prime? Is Ashen just going to slot into first entry and play something that he's not like super comfortable in? We'll have to see. But, I think Ashen has been touted as probably the most exciting player, most exciting underage player in a very long time. Some other players from his team, I think most notably Asian, people had a lot of expectations for, and maybe same thing for like Spiff, but I think Ashen was the biggest name on everybody's tongue. And I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about, right? I guess we'll see if for sure Sweater is being dropped. Like, this hasn't been announced by the org, but it seems pretty likely at this point. Fish going to Oxygen and SSG picking up Ashen. The verbiage in this tweet is just that they plan to, so maybe those plans will fall through, but I feel like it's probably pretty likely at this point. It could be quite a while before it's announced. There's not well, I suppose Oxygen is going to be playing at Gamers 8, so maybe if they intend to have Fish there, then it would be relatively soon, but SSG, you know, they're not playing it at Gamers 8 or anything, so maybe they'll wait up until right before the next stage starts, who knows. But anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that good stuff, feel free to leave them below, like and subscribe, always appreciated. And with all that being said, catch you guys next time.